The Washington Football Maniacs.
Let's predict the 53-man roster for the Washington Commanders, shall we? Cutdown day is Tuesday at 4 p.m. But I'm giving you what I think is going to be the 53-man roster prediction. I wonder how close I'm going to be. We're going to find out. But before we do, I'm Greg. I'm your host for the Washington Football Maniacs. And of course, this channel is all about the Washington football team. So if you're down with that, please consider subscribing to this channel. And of course, when you do, turn on the notifications so you won't miss any other video releases from your Washington Football Maniacs. And with that said, all right, let's get into this. So, of course, I think the easiest, maybe it's the easiest position to start with for the Washington Commanders, quarterback. So certainly our QB1 is going to be Jaden Daniels. We all know that. QB2, Marcus Mariota. Yes, I realize he didn't play a single down in preseason, was nursing an injury, but I think he's going to be ready. So QB2. Now, QB3, of course, was a battle between Sam Hartman and Josh Johnson. And, you know, it's pretty bad when this is really what a lot of people are talking about in terms of camp battles. But QB3, I'm going with Josh Johnson. And I'll be honest with you, you know, a lot of people said Josh Johnson just clearly won that QB3 position. I tend to agree, but was it because he played that much better? Or was it that Sam Hartman was just so bad? I mean, I hate to say that. I don't like to talk ill of any of the Commanders players, but Sam Hartman, the dude had a really, really rough preseason. And so I'm giving that QB3 position to Josh Johnson. Now, I will say that down the road, there needs to be probably better backups involved. I mean, you're looking at Josh Johnson. If Jaden Daniels goes down, Marcus Mariota, you know, he's been nursing some injuries. You could see QB3 in there, and you want someone who's going to be able to win some football games for you. So, but at this point in juncture, I'm going with Josh Johnson, QB3. Running backs. RB1. Now, some have basically said Chris Rodriguez is going to be RB1. I would probably say Austin Eckler is probably more of the RB1, maybe. I don't know. But for right now, I'm willing to go with the Rod. So Chris Rodriguez, RB1, RB2, Austin Eckler, RB3, Bill Merritt. Now, they're thinking that maybe Bill Merritt, I don't know, is it going to, he'll dress out against the Giants, I'm sure. But how much playing time will he get in the beginning? Could he wind up being RB1? As it stands now, Rodriguez, Eckler, Merritt, and McNichols, I still think you have your best running backfield with these guys. And of course, Kashmir Allen, I think I would probably have him as a kick returner. I know that there's been talks of Jalen Lane being a punt returner. Well, there's a difference between punt returning and kickoff returners. I would probably put Kashmir as a kickoff returner. So that's where he finds a spot on the team. For wide receivers, of course, Terry McLaurin, he's not getting traded, folks. We're going to get him signed. Deebo Samuel's going to be wide receiver 2. Noah Brown looked pretty good in the warm-ups yesterday. So I feel comfortable he's going to be back and ready in a few weeks. Jalen Lane, he's making the team. I think he's going to find a spot in the team. I think he's going to have a really good rookie season. I feel very good about Jalen Lane. Luke McCaffrey, I know a lot of people, there's been some talk about Luke. I think he makes the team because he can play special teams. He didn't have a tremendously good preseason. He was sick in that first preseason game. Didn't catch a pass in that second preseason game. Third one, he caught some passes. He was active. Was active on special teams. If you can play special teams, it's going to go a long ways with you being able to make the team. So I think Luke McCaffrey makes the team, at least if it's on special teams, he'll be there. And Ja'Cory Brooks. I know, a lot of people were high on him in the beginning, and then some people felt that he cooled off. He did make some plays in that last game. I would give Ja'Cory Brooks an opportunity. I really would. I think that you need some young guys to help make the roster young for one reason, but two, I just think that there's a lot of good upside to Ja'Cory Brooks, and I would put him in there slowly but surely. So, for me, I'm keeping 6 wide receivers. I don't know. Maybe they keep more than that. Right now, I think 6 is pretty good. Tight ends, of course, Zach Ertz, John Bates. And even though we really didn't see much out of Ben Sinnott, I think you still, or Ben Sinnott, you still need to, still need to go with him, in my opinion. So I'm going to stick with Ben Sinnott, but I'm also, I said this on social media yesterday. You got to have somebody on your team named Colson Yankoff. You just gotta do it. And, he made a really, really good play yesterday. I think that Yankoff makes that tied in number 4 position. I really do. So there you go. Now for the guys up front, of course, Laramie Tunsil, Brandon Coleman, Josh Connerly Jr., Trent Scott, Nick Allegretti, Sam Cosmi, of course, when he comes back from his injury, Chris Paul, Andrew Wiley, your guards and tackles, your centers. Of course, Tyler is going to be our starting center. Backing him up will be Michael Dietrich. So there you go. As far as the guys up front, that's pretty much the offense that I think that we will see for the most part. Some of those guys will probably be on the practice squad, won't dress out, but I think that's pretty much, to me, I feel like the offense is a little bit easier to pick. So we get on defense, safeties. Jeremy Reeves, he has worked himself into a lot of playing time on defense. Of course, a special teams star there, Pro Bowler. Feel good about Jeremy Reeves getting a lot of playing time on defense. Quan Martin, Will Harris. I haven't given up on Percy Butler, so Percy Butler makes the team. And then you go into the corners, and we may keep more, obviously, than just 4 safeties. But for right now, those are the ones I'm picking. Corners, of course, Trey Amos, Marshawn Lattimore, Mikey Sinstrel, Noah Igby, and Antonio Hamilton Sr. That was kind of a toss-up. I'm going to give him an opportunity. You go into the linebackers, you got Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, who honestly is technically probably going to be more of an edge, but he is listed as linebacker. Frankie Louvu, Kane Madrino, and Jordan McGee, I think, are going to be our linebackers. Defensive line, of course, Deron Payne, Johnny Newton, Javon Kinlaw, Dietrich Wise Jr., Dorrance Armstrong, Colleen Farrell, Javante Jean-Baptiste, Sheldon Day. Those are the ones that I'm keeping as my defensive linemen. Special teams, of course, Tress Way, Matt Gay, Tyler Ott, The Given. Let's see how long Matt Gay lasts. That's all I'm going to say. He did not have a very good preseason, in my opinion. Honestly, anything outside of 50 is just a wing and a prayer for him. So we'll see. Okay, so who are we cutting? Now, I really hate to do this, and maybe this is in poor taste, but this does not mean that some of these guys don't turn around and get signed to a practice squad, because not really going to sit here and tell you, okay, these guys are going to go to the practice squad, because this is not really a perfect science for me. So, but these are the guys that I feel like likely are being cut. Some of these are probably going to turn around and get signed to the practice squad. But KJ Osborne, Chris Moore, Jacoby Jones, Michael Gallup, River Cracraft, Cole Turner. Yeah, I think Cole's getting cut. Lawrence Kager, Foster Sorrell, and sorry if I'm not pronouncing some of these names correctly. You guys know that I suck at that. So because I do have some of the grammar Nazis in the comments who will correct me. So forgive me for that. Tyree Phillips, George Fant, Ben Nickel, Sam Hartman. Sorry, ladies. Sam's got to go. He had a really bad preseason. Duke Riley, Eddie Goldman, Carl Davis, Norrell Pollard, TJ Magdur, TJ Mag, he's gone. Bobby Price, Jonathan Jones, Essang Basie. Again, some of these guys are going to get signed to the practice squad, but how it kind of works is some of these guys outright get cut and then get picked up later on back on the practice squad. Some of these guys, of course, are going to get picked up by other teams. So most of these guys probably are not going to just be sitting on the couch. They're going to get picked up by somebody. But this is what I feel like will be the ones making the 53-man roster. So how did I do? Did I just completely suck at this, or am I kind of on something? I mean, honestly, looking at the preseason was not a great showing by our depth players. Honestly, you're going to have really good the first stringers, of course, to me are Super Bowl elite contenders. Your second stringers are going to be pretty good, being rotated in and out for various positions. Third string, you kind of start to drop off. So there's definitely a drop off in talent, I think, when you start to get to the third string and beyond. And we saw that in preseason, unfortunately. But nevertheless, I feel like what I have here is pretty good. Now, of course, you can probably tell me, and let me know in the comments, was a too thin at linebacker, corner, safety? I feel like I was really thin at safety. We probably need to keep more players on the 53-man roster for safety. Because right now I have 4 players at safety. And then I have 5 players at corner. So maybe we're going to have a lot of dime packages, but I may be a little light on some of these positions. But I feel like I'm pretty close. So again, folks, if you don't know already, Tuesday at 4 p.m. is going to be the cut date. We were told that we're not going to know who is getting cut until 4 o'clock on Tuesday. Fair. I think that's a fair assessment. I think some of these guys, we kind of have a good idea. I think I would be, if I would tell you who I think would be a shock to get cut, I think Luke McCaffrey would be a shock, even though he's not had that great of a preseason. I would be shocked if he got cut. Would be shocked if Ben Sinnott got cut. I would be really shocked with that. Again, I know that he didn't really have much of a preseason. I'm not even sure if I heard his name called at all. But again, he's a second-year guy. I don't know. Defense, it's a little bit, for me, it's a little bit more of a toss up in the air. I feel like a lot of the guys I said are going to be cut are going to wind up going back to the practice squad. And at some point, you may see them enter the game at some point in the season. So it's not saying that they're not going to be able to play for the Commanders. I just feel like that, these are the guys that are likely going to be cut. You may question, you're cutting Michael Gallup. He was out of football for a year. I think he was kind of brought in as, honestly, maybe insurance. But overall, Terry's going to get signed. And I think once that Terry is signed, you're going to see a pretty good wide receiver group there. Noah Brown's healthy. I mean, if Noah Brown's healthy, Terry's, of course, going to be in there. Deebo Samuel, those guys right there. Jalen Lane, I think, is going to have a big year as a rookie. If you have wide receivers 1 through 4, you're doing pretty good. And then you have Luke McCaffrey, Ja'Cory Brooks. Those two guys, I think, will make the team. So I feel pretty confident in that, but we'll see. Folks, how did I do? Let me know in the comments. Just don't be too rough on me. But I think that's what we're going to go with. And again, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. Let me know in the comments if I did well or if I was way off on it. And with that said, I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.